Thank you for all signing in. Keep signing in as you get in.
I think I should be fine unless you want to write it. I just realized I did.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to those of you who were on the call this morning and those of you weren't on the call this morning. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and so hopefully we won't go too long and everybody will have a wonderful weekend. So the first question that came up was Teresa asked, how do I access past recordings of calls? It is on the support website. So I'll show you that. And the other things that we talked a little bit about this morning was about changing coaching allocations, the $100, sugar pool dollar, and how to reallocate the quality funds balance. So I'm going to go over sort of to the sugar ways of doing things on this call, but one of the things that we discussed this morning is that there's a lot of policy implications as well. Does that agenda sound okay with everybody?
Sure, sounds great.
Okay. There's one. Teresa says yes. And remember, I like it when you guys comment. Lisa says yes. Stacy says yes. And somebody's playing something cool. Sue, Deb, okay. Can we touch on the application process? I think it says I might need to mute everyone, but it looks like the sound is okay. Okay, so for there's another question that came up. Touch on the application process. Okay, I'm going to write down who said what. So KDN. Okay, so one of the accessing past recordings of calls, you go to the support website. And one of the things I noticed when I was at somebody else's site is that they weren't on. If you don't see home solutions, forums, and tickets, you got to make sure that you log in. I'm automatically logged in, so I'll see that. So one of the things you can do is just anytime you have a question, you can enter the term here, search. I'm just going to type in Friday. And it says here's some options, and actually Friday support calls is the most popular. So I'll click Friday support calls. And it goes into where Sharon started, and I've continued to add calls. So here is last Friday's, and don't tell Liz, but I snuck out of the meeting to do a quick call, and it was only Amy and I. But here's what I did is we created a filter to show only some spending records. Okay, I'm going to show a different way to get in as well. So what I did is I went into support.ecla.org and then just click the search term for Friday. But if you want to see sort of the way that we have this organized, on the Solutions tab is how you would go through the process of, here's general information about the applications, getting started, and more information about the grant administration overview. Here you do outreach, and here's like MOU templates, QI applications, so that might answer some of the questions for the second question. Rubrics and MOUs, then working with your providers, recording sessions, sending approvals, requisitions, and trends. So that's how this is organized. In the forums, it has announcements, Coaches Corner, tips and tricks, the Sugar Advisory Group when we meet, but down at the bottom is where the recorded webinars and trainings are, Friday support calls. So this one, if you wanted to go the long way, it's forums, and down near the bottom it has Friday support calls. Okay. So Teresa, does that answer your question? Yep. Okay. Thank you. All right. The next question, let me go. Katie, can you either type in the chat box or unmute yourself and tell me a little bit more about what you want as far as touching on the application process? Okay, so what Katie said is having sites attempt to submit applications, but the funding sources they should be able to access, they are not. Okay, well, I'll answer it in general. One of the things that has, here's the question. Do you want to elaborate any more on that, or? Because in general, what has happened, I can do it sort of from some tickets that I know, is that one of the things is the expiration date has passed and that you need to go manually change it. If they've applied and waiting for the MOU, MOUs are on hold until after June 17th. And there may be some, when you go through the EC Connect portal, it's possible that they have not filled out their application correctly or all parts of it. And so the application isn't matching what they're qualified for. If you have specific sites, Katie, can you send a ticket, because we may have to do We have had providers listing ITQA as an option, but they don't have an infant toddler program. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So it is possible that there's some programming issues. So if you send the specific examples through the ticket at support at eclacolorado.org, because we have had a few programs that I've seen. Joni has been handling most of those types of tickets, so maybe she's seen a lot more. Let's see. Okay, that's a good point. How many people that are on the line? We have 21 people. If you have the same problem that you have providers listing ITQA, but they don't have an infant toddler program, could you either chat in that you have the same problem, or say, no, we don't have the problem? Okay, we have Lisa saying programs who are listed as serving 2.5-year-olds may be able to access ITQA grant. Is that a possibility, Katie? Okay, Teresa says not that I'm aware of. No, but I've had CCAP application missing on the QI tab. Yeah, we've had various ones, but these are the major reasons that have happened. The expiration dates passed, and then the application not filled out correctly. I'm not familiar about programming. Nope, Katie.
This is Tiffany from Alliance for Kids.
Okay, hi, Tiffany.
Hi. One of the other issues could be, because this is new, and if you weren't on a past supporting call, is that sites need to be serving at least 8+ CCAP, mean CCAP, and so that might be important to note when you're saying your CCAP application is open. However, they might not meet that number.
Great point.
Just to kind of keep that in mind. We've actually gone in each one of our CCAP sites to make sure that their application would be open prior to informing them that they could go ahead and apply.
Okay, so CCAP, the reason CCAP wouldn't be there, and this is a change from last year to this, well, the coming year, is that the 8 minimum is there. So Katie, I'm going to show you the expiration date. Let me, I'll have to remember how to get there, but that's all right. Okay. So I'm going into Sugar. Okay, and I'm looking at requisitions first, and I'll see if it's there. Yeah, on my screen, it's a little bit to the edge. So if you see over on I just went into requisitions and listed all the requisitions I have, because I can see everybody's. Your screen is going to look different. You'll probably just see your own team. But if you look at the column that says expiration date, if we're already past the expiration date, then they won't be able to spend these funds or apply for funds if it's past the expiration date. So some of the dates that, people have been sending tickets, it worked like they were, especially around like the 1st of May, they could say, well, it worked yesterday, but it didn't work today, and that's because the expiration date just hit. Does that answer that part of the question? Oh, I know where to find it in Sugar and update it, but why does it affect the application? No, I was talking about the spending. So I'm sorry, Katie, I misunderstood your question. So the application, these would be for what? For the coming the coming year. And so if you double check the dates on, let's try sorry. So I just got the question wrong. It's okay. Thanks. Okay. Any other comments on why the application, the folks might not be seeing the application date? I mean, the application, the providers might not see the correct applications? Okay. We'll go into this coaching, awarded dollars don't show for 2016. Applications received have not sent MOUs. Yeah, Tina, that's correct that the MOUs aren't out yet until after June 17th, but I might not understand your question or your comment. Okay.
Does that make sense? I just unmuted.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're saying another reason.
So
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that, so I might receive an application that's a 16-17 and I haven't sent the MOU. And so I guess what I'm trying to figure out is also the awarded dollars aren't showing in sugar, even though the application is pending, let's say.
Visit right now,
So,
Mia, have you ever been to the office?
anyway, so are the dollars supposed to show?
Yeah, so the other room is.
I don't know if the dollars are supposed to show in all cases. Does anybody else know?
Because the dollars, okay, so they don't show until you accepted the MOU. Okay, that's what I expected.
Right, okay.
All right.
And I
Thanks,
have
that's what I
and I have my
Okay.
headphones on.
Okay.
Because I have sites asking what the potential is, and I don't know yet, so that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, they, thank you.
But there's a problem with that process in terms of the dollars not showing until we send, until we have accepted an MOU. Will the dollars show once we send the MOU? Because we have no idea how much dollars we're talking about unless we can see them and know they're right or not right.
Right. I thought that, and again, I'll double check this, but I thought that that's part of the MOU process, that when the MOUs actually come out, you'll see them before you accept the MOU. But I haven't been through the process yet, so I don't know for sure. So Lisa, my guess is that you'll see them before, when the MOUs come out, but before you accept them, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I don't have to wait to send an MOU to see them. We will see them sometime prior to that process.
That's my understanding, but I'll double check on that. I might be wrong. Okay. Seeing if I got any more comments. Whoops.
Stacy, were you meaning that the dollars won't show in EC Connect or they won't show in Sugar?
Either, she says.
That obviously is not the way that it has worked in the past, so that would definitely be a change. In the past, we actually saw dollars as soon as they submitted an application, and I understand that that may have changed, but that the dollars would not show in EC Connect until that MOU had been accepted. No, I agree that they were definitely not necessarily right in Sugar. they may or may not have been right, but they may or may not have been what you were able to award.
Okay, so but I'll check for both Sugar and EC Connect. Okay.
EC Connect makes sense once the MOU is signed by everybody.
Right. Okay. But so when? But
Yeah.
when we see it. Okay. Okay. And Stacy said when you see, I'm going back up. Okay, Stacy said they were never right in Sugar. And then Deb said, race to the top now has a date of 4/29 under requisitions. Don't we need to send an MOU amendment? Yes, and the amendments will be coming out with all the other MOU documents after June 17th. Okay. Any other questions on those topics before I go to the coaching allocations? Okay. All right. With the coaching allocations, I just took a picture of the board, and the first item on the board said coaching allocations, $100 clarification. You know, the $100 is sort of a default number, $100 per hour for coaching. It's just a default number that you can change in your records, both in the funding stream and in the requisitions. And there was a note that I wanted to go down to. It said, so this may be new for some of you. On the funding stream, you can now update external coaching rate on the external coaching details tab. The system will use that rate to generate the value of external coaching requisitions. So you need to, the external has been defaulted to $100 per hour, but you need to update that amount to whatever your council specifically pays your contracted coach. Okay, so in order to do that, I am going to go onto the funding stream, and we'll look at this external coaching rate right on this section. So it's on funding streams, external coaching detail, and then external coaching rate. So I'm choosing funding streams. Okay, and let's see if we have I have a test one. So I'll go into that one. And here is just an example one so I don't mess up anybody's. So program summary is the first tab, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tabs over more is where the new field is for external coaching rate. So you can click on that pencil and type in whatever your coaching rate is. So I put 50 in for that and then click save. So that any funding streams off of this would use this rate of $50. So that's one way to change the coaching rate. Before I go on, I'm going to see if there are any questions on that. Okay. Oh, we got a long. Here is the language from an accepted MOU for this fiscal year. Qualified quality improvements resources will be made available to program recipients based on a variety of factors, including quality level, must be at least at level 2, number of classrooms, and needs as expressed by the Carlos Shines Improvement Plan. Program recipient will receive a minimum allocation of 300 plus 300 for each classroom, up to 1,500 support the qualified quality improvement expenditures and activities. So it just gives minimums and maximums, but not specific award amounts. So, Stacy, from what you're saying is that you need to plug in your own amount based on these minimums and maximums. Is that true? No, not in the MOU, but in the, you just have to award the proper funds in sugar. So yeah, once you make the determination, you populate the funds in sugar, is what I'm trying to say. Is that correct? Okay, verify that they are correct and adjust if needed. Yes, okay. I hope that makes sense, is that if the amount isn't correct in sugar, then you need to make the correction. And sometimes we have, in the call this morning, we talked quite a bit more about the formulas and stuff, and that they may need to be corrected, or the application may need to be corrected. No, I think Stacy was talking about the, Stacy, are you talking about the external coaching rate? Or are you talking about back to the funding and the coaching hours? I'm talking about QI and coaching dollars awarded for the program. Okay, so this the external coaching rate is a little bit different.
Are you able to hear me? This is Stacy.
Yeah, hi Stacy.
Hi, I'm talking through my computer, so I didn't know how well it would work.
But,
since there was a question about MOUs and dollars being awarded and needing to see that, that's why I went and pulled that verbiage out of the MOU so everybody could see. It talks about minimums and maximums, but it does not award, you get $900 for QI or anything in those MOUs. They left it broad so it would apply to any site and wouldn't involve merging a lot of information from databases into those documents. So you can let programs know, here's your award, or that they can see it in EC Connect, or do that in another way, but it's not dictated in that MOU.
Right, but the program, Sugar will generate the amount for the dollars is my understanding, but again, I haven't gone all the way through the whole process yet. And,
yeah, the way that it seemed like it worked to us was that once you accepted and once you send out a, I guess it's once you send out an MOU for signing, it generates the requisitions automatically with amounts based on those formulas.
Right.
We have found those formulas have been right maybe 10% of the time. And so we always go in and verify those amounts are right before we accept the MOU, where then a program can see what they have in EC Connect.
Okay, it's really good to know, because I'm putting on another hat right now, and Sharon and the developers have asked me to, you know, test things next week, and this is before things come out. So I'll definitely be trying to put in different configurations for, you know, the levels, the number of classrooms, and things like that to see if they calculate correct.
Sure. One of the biggest problems we've found has been that we either had programs that listed 4 classrooms instead of 2 classrooms with 2 sessions each, or they only listed 1 classroom with 4 sessions instead of 4 classrooms, and that affects the calculation.
Oh, definitely.
So I think we always need to go in and verify that the information in there is correct, because I think a lot of our providers aren't completely clear.
Yeah, one of the things I did with one of the councils is we just looked at their home health providers and saw how many classrooms they have, and it didn't make sense, you know, for most of them to have very many classrooms. So you're right, sometimes that it's confusing for the provider to enter the right information. So that definitely is a challenge. So that obviously wouldn't be a programming issue, it'd be a user input issue. But there's still
Absolutely.
a programming issue too on top of that.
Yeah, then we just need to verify that the right information is in there so they get awarded the correct dollars, not too much or too less, too
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, so it's very important to verify.
Yeah, so we verify all of those numbers before we accept the signed MOU so that we get that corrected before they can see anything.
I'm going to put that note here, verify all numbers before, what did you say, before sending out the MOU?
Before accepting the MOU.
Okay.
I guess it actually, I'll have to look at that because we just always told our coaches, wait until you get the word from us that we verified the numbers before you tell your programs. So I guess I've never looked at it in what order that happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's why I'm a little foggy on that. So I think it would be a good question to know when are the requisitions actually generated? Are they generated as soon as a program applies for funding and then we just have to accept it? And then it makes it where it can be viewed in EC Connect? Or when does that happen exactly? Because I haven't paid that close of attention.
I don't think the requisitions are generated until after the MOU is signed.
Yeah,
So-
I think so too, but I'm not.
Not true for last year.
Oh.
For the current programs we are working with this fiscal year, when they applied, preliminary requisitions were created with that application.
Oh, okay.
So you could
Okay.
exactly what you might be committing to unless you knew you needed to change it. The challenge was you could not amend it or edit it in the preliminary status. You could not change it until you sent the MOU and accepted it, and then you had to change it through a transfer process. So I think they were trying to fix that this time so that we could actually edit in the preliminary status. But at this point, and this may be intentional, we cannot see the amounts in the requisitions. You can see the requisitions are created, but there is no coaching hour amount assigned nor dollar amount assigned. So if you go into an application and you scroll down, you will see the requisitions are there. They just don't have values in them yet.
So Lisa, you're saying the values are generated once you accept the application?
That's not how it used to be, but, and I hope that is not how it happens this time, because we need to know that before we get to that place, because the application is accepted through the MOU process, and I don't want to send out MOUs for dollar amounts that I don't know what I'm committing to, because then I don't know how many to send.
I'll check on that. I'll check on that on the dollar, because I thought, and maybe I was just communicating wrong what my understanding was. I thought that June 17th date when all the MOUs were, you would see the amounts as well.
At that time. And that may be what's going to happen, but it would be helpful to us to be sure that we know we're going to see it and when,
Okay.
and that it's not too late in the process.
Okay. I'm going to see if there's any other questions while, okay. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to do the second coaching allocations if you want to edit this on a requisition. And a lot of this information is on this very large help article, but it doesn't have a lot of pictures and stuff. And so I've gone through and, you know, created pictures as well as steps. So this article that actually covers the rest of the questions about transfers, pooled requisitions, coaching is in this article called Requisitions and Transfers. And it's on the solutions. See in the general page for solutions, when you click that, underneath it, working with participating providers, there are 4 articles on requisitions and transfers. So a lot of the answers are in here. But the requisitions and transfers is this long article that I'm going to be getting pieces out for pooled stuff as well as for this, the requisition coaching hours. I mean coaching, let's see where am I back? For the coaching allocations. Okay. So to change it on the requisition, you log on to Sugar, click on requisitions or the more tab and then requisition. And I'm going to filter on assignment type for external coaching. So I've clicked requisitions, and you can see over here assignment type has internal coaching, external coaching dollars. So these are the different types. I want to just find one that's external coaching. So its assignment type is external coaching. And I'm going to see if we have a test one here that I can change. So I won't actually change it, but we'll go in and then you can see that the hourly rate on this one is 125, but we could change it by clicking on the pencil to whatever amount that we would want. And then you would click Save. Okay, so again, what I did is I clicked on requisitions just so I could see those that have external coaching. I clicked assignment type as external coaching. Clicked on the requisition I wanted to change, and your list will be much shorter than mine since it's just for your council. Hover over the coaching rate and show the pencil to click, and then type in your new amount and press enter. Any questions on the changing the coaching? Okay. You can go back up. Okay, the second question here was the pooled dollars, how to access and how to transfer the pooled dollars. But you can also reallocate the dollars through this pooled. So if you want to transfer from one area to another, you can reallocate your dollars through pooled dollars. So both of these questions will be answered in the next step. Okay, so I'm going to log on to Sugar and click on requisitions this time and filter the status to see which ones are pooled. So here's requisitions again. And instead of assignment type as external coaching, I'm going to delete that one. That was the last one I did. You can see over here that the status, some of them are pooled, some of them are approved, some are preliminary. Status is any of pooled. Let me see if it's the test one. That's a good one. Okay, here's one with a lot of transfers from. So to move money from this pooled area, you click on the transfers from plus button. So I'm in the this council RTT funds, pooled funds. And so I would click this plus and choose from this area to a specific area for another provider. And then you would choose how much you want to transfer. Let's see. Actually, I don't want to do this because I don't want to mess up. So you would follow that screen, and I'll create a longer step-by-step process on an example so you can see all the steps so I don't mess up an actual record. But these, again, are in this requisition and transfers in these steps, but there's quite a few of them, so I'm going to make them try to make it simpler with pictures.
Rick?
Yeah?
This is Teresa Matthews.
Hi, Teresa.
We have a bunch of like 20 cents, 75 cents, $1.82 that's left from what the providers have expended. And so I've been going in and transferring that back to pool.
Mm-hmm.
That correct?
Yeah, I think that's good practice. What do the other councils do with that small of amount? It's a good question. I personally think it's good practice, but I wanted to hear what other people are doing.
And we put that they like relinquished their funds, you know, that 75 cents
Right.
Okay.
Yes. And actually, Stacy says, my understanding is you could forfeit that small amount from the site and put it back into the pool. So I think there's two questions. It could be a large amount too. So maybe they went out of business or they decided they didn't want to, go through the hoops to it. So it could be a small amount or a large amount. So part of the question, Stacy, is do you still do it like for 75 cents? Do you go through the process to zero out each item? I think you should. I think it can apply to large amount as well. Sharon certainly know for sure. Well, what Sharon has told me is that yes, do it for small amounts, but I wanted to know. I mean, I think I don't know if it's an actual requirement, but I think it's a good practice. Maybe somebody else has a comment on that though.
I think if you're really wanting to use one place to know your balance to your budget, you're better off keeping it clean and keep requisitions from being small, and just keep the stuff that's active that you're actually going to work with it, and pull them into the pool.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do. Or keep doing.
Because when you get down to very small amounts of money, and and it's, for me, this is part of that issue of you've got your budget that is your real and you're trying to zero, but you're also, if you're trying to track everything in sugar as I think we're expected to do, and you're trying to match it, it takes a little bit of work, but you have to do those sorts of things to make the match.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, Lisa, very much.
We had one requisition we had to split between 3 funding streams for a site, less than $10 for one, and a couple hundred for another, and a couple hundred for another one, but that was the only way we were going to zero it out.
Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? If you could say, no, I don't have any questions, or yes, I have another question, or...
Oh.
Okay, I heard one no. No more? Yeah, I'm sorry I've been a little bit distracted because starting the weekend, it's actually our 27th anniversary too, so I'm trying to figure out what am I going to get my wife. Maybe you guys can give me suggestions before you go, and then let me know. Couples massage, diamonds. Well, okay, Stacy. Ah, you haven't gotten her anything yet? I know. I'm bad. A pig roast. I like that idea, Katie. Thank you. Well, you all keep sending in suggestions, and you all have a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you for... Wait, I'm not your wife. Oh, nope, I don't think you are. Nothing says love like a pig roast. Enjoy. Thank you, Katie. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Holly. And you have a happy weekend too, a great weekend. Okay, don't forget the Mountain Film Festival tickets and Telluride. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Lisa.